So at the end of the events that you do you get home and like your feet are on fire, your thighs, your knees, your back, they hurt, don't they? Depending on how old you are or how young you are, you may have several different variations of this, but it's usually the feet. Hi, it's Bill. This is Creative License. Thanks again for being a part of my little dog and pony show. And thank you to my sponsors, Electro Voice, speakers and audio systems and microphones, promo-only music service, the best music service in my opinion. DJ Event Planner. If you need a CRM for your company, you should be looking into DJ Event Planner. And Disc Jockey News, which is the one place that has been gathering information on video and with articles for disc jockeys to learn more for more years than anybody else out there. And of course, you know, my workshop sponsors things as well. Anyway, I'm talking about our legs, our feet, our knees, those things that we are on all the time. If you're a DJ who sits behind your console, you're not having as much of a problem as this, as I'm talking about. But if you're like me, when you get to the event, once the guests begin to arrive, they never see me sit. Okay, I'm standing all the time. I'm standing behind my gear. I'm standing out with the client. I'm walking between the different places where the event's going to be, whether it be the ceremony or the cocktail hour or the dining or the dancing. They never see me sit. And after you stand for a good 6 hours, you don't want to, because the moment you get down, you got to get back up again. And you've just given your joints and your muscles a chance to rest. That's when they begin to swell and they get a little bit stiff. And so usually I'm on my feet. If you're like me, I'm on my feet sometimes 16 hours. And at the end of the day, my feet and ankles and knees, they are taking a pounding. So what can you do to avoid this? Well, you can't avoid it, but you can do things to lessen it. Number one, you need to stretch. You need to be sure you're stretching out your ankles, your back, your feet, your knees. Keep those muscles as limber as humanly possible. The kind of shoe wear that you wear is important. I know a lot of guys will wear a suit and then they'll wear tennis shoes and maybe they think they're getting a little better support, and that's not always the case. But the shoes that I buy are expensive. They're designed for support. I have insoles, and I switch out those shoes at least once during every single solitary event. So I would suggest you do that. Go to a great place that sells shoes. Look into the best when it comes to support, and just spend the money. You're not going to be unhappy. If you haven't looked into anti-fatigue mats, I have an anti-fatigue mat that is behind my rig. That made a bigger difference than the shoes for me. Anti-fatigue mats are everywhere. Some are great, some are not. I like mine to be extra thick because honestly, again, I could be on my feet sometimes 16 hours, and if I'm behind my rig, I'm not really moving more than about 4 to 5 feet on either side behind my facade, so I'm not going too far. And if I'm on cement, it's even worse. That's another thing. If you're going to be working on cement, then these things are even more important because cement does not give. So it has a bigger pounding on your ankles, knees, back, feet. Same thing if you're on ice. I know a lot of ice rinks will put boards down or will just do the event right on the ice. Ice doesn't give, cement doesn't give, marble doesn't give. So you take more of a pounding. Even if it doesn't feel like you are at the moment, it is happening. So you really, even if you're not feeling the pain now, you're not feeling the fatigue now because you're young or because you're just way more fit than I am, which, you know, that's most of you. You really want to get ahead of this, because if you get ahead of it now, then you can have way less problems later. At times, depending on the event, if I haven't taken care of myself for the event and beforehand done these things that I need to do, the Sunday after my event, it's an entire day of me doing a lot of nothing, keeping my feet up, icing my knees and ankles and feet, just because that's the way it works. I don't wish that on anybody, and it can be lessened if you take on some of these tips. There's a lot more you can do, and if you do a little searching, you'll find those things. If you have some tips, if you've got some ideas, there's something that you do, be sure to write them in the comments below and tell us what you do to take care of the lower half of your body. I'm talking about your knees, your ankles, your feet. All right, till I see you next time, this is Bill, and this is Creative License. Bye.